Good day, everyone, and welcome to this special GIS program. I'm your host, Laura Lee Dawson, Information Officer for the Department of Information and Public Relations. Thank you for tuning in. We have with us managers from the BVI Ports Authority here to inform and update us on a few of the authority's recent initiatives. I'll have the managers introduce themselves.
Mr. Akeem Pickering, Operations Manager.
My name is Dave Smith. I'm the Manager for Security.
My name is Sean Durant. I'm the Marine Manager.
Okay, welcome. Now, the Ports Authority recently authorized the pre-purchase of departure tax tickets for large groups. How is that working, Mr. Durant?
It's working pretty well. We have control of the large group of people coming at the port. We have advance notice, so we can plan ahead.
Okay. Can you remind us again of what constitutes a large group?
A large group consists of 30 persons or more.
Okay. How can persons or tour operators pre-purchase departure tax tickets? Like, what's the process?
It consists of one, notifying us in advance, coming to the main office, let us know how many passengers in the group, and then we give them a bunch of tickets. When they get the tickets, the day of departure, they go to a cashier and it will be stamped.
Okay. Some of those large groups have been given permission to use the authority's facilities if they're making trips outside the master schedule. How is that working?
That's working pretty well. The ferry companies that do charters, for example, the moorings, they give us advance notice. We set a time when they can come to the dock to pick up the passengers, so it doesn't interfere with the local schedules.
Okay.
So we don't have a congestion of passengers and tugging and hauling.
Okay.
That's why we majorly do it, because of congestion. You know, our facility is small. You know, they have, well, people have, you know, there's more people traveling today, I should say. So if the large groups are organized by us, then that makes you know, everything runs a lot smoother, because then, you know, we wouldn't have to mix those people in with the, you know, regular traveling public.
Okay. And how much notification should they give the authority?
The minimum is 24 hours.
Okay.
24 hours.
Okay. The authority also started to close the security gates at ferry departure times to facilitate ferries leaving on time. How is that working out, Mr. Smith?
Well, it's been implemented now for, I think, over a month, and so far so good. We chose to come up with this new initiative because over the years we've been trying to get the ferries to leave on time. I mean, we all know that the ferries, they have a tendency to leave late, and in leaving late, people show up late. We know, you know, the Virgin Islands and how we behave. So what we have done from the Ports Authority's point of view is we have said we are going to close the, what do you call it, the security checkpoint. We control that. We also control the departure tax, the sales of the departure tax. So this new initiative is done from the Ports Authority standpoint and not basically the ferries. So, but what we have done was we have held meeting with the ferry companies, the cashiers, that would be the ferry cashiers, and we have explained to them what we're trying to do and what we're trying to assist them with. So in knowing that the Ports Authority is going to cut off the sales of departure tax and close their security checkpoint, obviously you would have to be on point. So it's been going very well.
Okay. What about the public? Have they gotten the message? Are they now on time to book or purchase their tickets?
Well, I would say so. We still have some stragglers, but I'm hoping, or you know, we're all hoping that they too would come on stream. One of the reasons why we want the ferries to leave on time as well is there's always, let's say for instance, there's an 8 o'clock ferry, and then there's another ferry at 8:30, 9 o'clock. We don't think it's right for the 8 o'clock ferry to be booking persons when, you know, they should have been gone. This infringes on the next trip, so to speak. So when you find people coming late now, stragglers as I call them, they would just have to catch the next ferry. Okay. Now, if we have the ferry that's the last ferry of the day, let's say going to the U.S. Virgin Islands, you know, we could give a little, you know, we give them a little lead time because that is the last ferry of the day. But the ones up, you know, say from morning all the way to the last ferry, you know, you should be there on time. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be there on time for the last ferry, but at the same time, that is the one that we give a little leeway to because it is the last ferry of the day. But not encouraging the public at all to come late for that last ferry.
Okay. Now, is this a permanent initiative or will things soon change?
No, I think we want to stick with that initiative. I think as we go along, the people would adjust themselves. The ferries would no longer have to, or we would no longer have to say to ferries, listen, it's time to leave the dock. So we want to keep that initiative in place, and we think it helps everybody. You know, the traveling public, it helps the ferries. It shows to the public that the ferries are on board, and if they have a scheduled time, then that is what the time is. So we're definitely going to keep that initiative in place.
Okay. Now, a lot of people have been talking about the new $5 security fee. This is for you, Mrs. Smith, or you, Mr. Pickering. How soon will the BVI Ports Authority collect the fee?
Beginning July 1st of this year, the BVI Ports Authority will begin collecting our $5 security fee. And as a means of history, actually, this was passed in legislation and was supposed to be in effect from July last year. And so the BVI Port Authority, being a bit cautious and still very conscious of the public and the territory, we decided that we would absorb that cost for 1 year. And so beginning this year, July 1st, we'll go ahead and implement that cost.
Okay. Are young children exempt? And similar to what happens with the departure tax?
Children 5 and under.
Okay. Now, just to be clear, how much will persons pay to leave the territory through seaports beginning July 1st? Beginning
July 1st, we have 2 categories. You have residents and we have visitors. So the residents will pay a total of $15 to leave. That comprises of $10 departure tax and $5 security fee. The visitors will pay $20 to leave, which comprises of $15 departure tax and $5 security fee.
Okay. There's also something else happening on July 1st. Mr. Pickering, can you tell us about what's happening with cargo charges?
Cargo charges, we are going to implement our collection of cargo charges beginning July 1st as well.
Okay, is this a new fee?
No, it is not. It has been in our Act and Regulation since the existence of the authority in 1990.
And how much is it?
$2 per ton.
Okay. Where should persons now pay for these?
At the Port Purcell headquarters.
Okay. How is the authority collecting it now?
Actually, it's being collected by HM Customs. They've been collecting it on our behalf as we did not have the administrative needs necessary. But now, being that we want to be a bit more fiscally prudent of our finances, we took the steps that we needed to take and get what we had to get in place to be able to collect it.
Okay, and was it a customs fee that is now transferred to the authority?
No, it has always been a Port Authority fee.
Okay, now let's talk signage. Frequent port users have also noticed different signage at the various ports with the term MARSEC. Mr. Smith, what is MARSEC?
MARSEC stands for Maritime Security, and it's something that you see at all ports worldwide. Since 9/11, 2001, you had new initiatives went out worldwide. So this is just part of you know, that new initiative that I shouldn't call it new by now because we're all the way, 2014, but this is something that you'll see at all ports, and it has to do mainly with security. You would see the sign and it would say MARSEC levels. There are 3 levels. We are currently at level 1. By the way, ships also have to follow MARSEC levels. So if you go on board cruise ships, you would see the same signage. And in level 1, the port is operating under normal circumstances. We can search people, cars, maybe 10% of the persons entering a port or a secured area. At level 2, it heightens a bit. So the normalcy of people going in and out now, you know, gets a bit more tedious. And you could imagine what happens at level 3. It's 100%. Everybody gets searched. Every car gets searched. So these things would happen. These levels would change due to threats to facilities or a ship. We usually know what MARSEC level ships are in. Let's say the cruise ships, or even the cargo vessels that frequent our shores. We know what MARSEC level they're in. Their security people speak to our security people, and we all make sure that we're operating at the same MARSEC level. If, for instance, one of the cargo vessels was to leave a foreign port, and at that time they were operating at level 1, and in between their transition between that port and ours, before they got here, our port was to change to level 2. Then when that ship comes to our port, they too would have to go to level 2, because that means the threat was, you know, initiated at our port. So, you know, once the security officers on the ships know, which they speak to us all the time, there's a certain document that they fill out called a DOS, which is a Declaration of Security, that is signed by the ship security officer and the port facility officer. So we are on the same page at all times. Okay.
And what should the public do when they observe the different levels of signage?
Well, in educating the public, like I just said, the 3 levels exist. And so if you come to the port and you're not familiar with what's going on at the port, and maybe the day before you walked in and it was just at level 1 and you were able to just show your ID and walk in on the port, if it changes to level 2, the security officer may tell you that the levels has changed and therefore the security has heightened. Or if you're at any of our facilities, there's usually a big sign that says MARSEC levels, and you could see it would say level 1, 2, or 3. So just to expect that in level 1, it's normalcy. Level 2, it heightens a bit, and level 3, it is in full security effect.
Okay. The last question before we go to break. In relation to the new cruise pier development, many persons may still be unclear about the fencing at the cruise pier, specifically taxi drivers. Mr. Smith, can you briefly speak about the new staging area?
Well, I guess by now the public knows that we're going to be soon under construction at the port. So things have changed from where they were to a new area. Thus, the effect of the new fencing that is erected. The new staging area would be a bit closer to the administration building, to the north side of the administration building. That's the north side, right?
North side.
North side. And that new area would be it would still be secured. You would have an entrance and an exit controlled by security. Who would be allowed in there would be the taxi drivers and the tow operators. The tow operators would be separated from the taxi drivers, and it would still be a much controlled area. We're going to try our best, or we are going to fix that area so that you know, the persons coming from the cruise ships and other vessels still have, you know, proper access. It's going to be the pathways are going to be cemented or asphalt. So it's going to be in good condition, and we would have the security people on the ground to assist the taxi drivers as to where they would need to be.
At this time, we'll take a short commercial break. I would like to thank Mr. Smith and Mr. Durant for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Okay. When we return, we'll be joined by Ms. Shakira Skelton, Information Technology Manager.
It's time to make a lasting impression.
And we're back from our break. As promised, we're joined by Ms. Skelton, IT Manager for the BVI Ports Authority. Welcome, Ms. Skelton.
Thank you.
Now, the BVI Authority will soon be allowing cruise agents to book berths online. Could you give us more information on that?
Well, what we have created at the Port Authority is an online portal for berthage applications. We receive numerous applications a month, as you can imagine, not only from the cruise, but from cargo vessels. So what we have done is try to make the process a bit more efficient in allowing the agents to go online and book their berths at the Port Authority. And on the receiving end, our operations department will approve and deny as seen fit.
Mm-hmm. And how soon will they be able to do so?
The online booking is currently available, and what we're doing currently is just trying to introduce it to the cruise operators first, and then we will in turn introduce the cargo vessels. So it is currently available, and what we're doing is we're trying to get all the agents to use it for the upcoming cruise season.
Mm-hmm. And how will this initiative benefit the authority and its agents?
Well, like I said, it's the online portal. Everything now is moving towards the internet, and this process will afford us to be a bit more efficient in how we process these berth applications.
And aside from the online booking of berthage, I know you also came to the program to remind the public about existing processes. Reminder of storage charges. Could we get that?
Yes, storage charges. At the BVI Ports Authority, we actually offer 5 free period days for inbound and outbound cargo. Mm-hmm. And with that, that does not include a Sunday or a holiday if it actually falls within the first 5 days. So for instance, if your cargo comes on Sunday with tropical shipping and Monday is a holiday, then your free period actually begins Tuesday at noon.
Okay.
So the free period commences noon on the day following the cargo was discharged from the vessel.
Okay.
So if it comes on Sunday and your free period begins Tuesday at noon, it ends the following Monday at noon. So from Monday afternoon, you will begin to incur storage charge, which is at a rate of 5 cents per cubic foot for the first 5 days, 10 cents per cubic foot for the next 5 days, and 20 cents per cubic foot thereafter. So storage charge, as you can imagine, can get pretty big pretty quick. So we encourage everyone to come and clear their cargo within a good time.
Okay, and what's the procedure for clearing cargo?
Well, once your cargo has arrived into the territory, the shipper should notify you that your cargo is here. You report to the shipper's office, you pay their fee, you get your cargo release form, you then go to a customs broker to get your HMC 12 done up. After that's done, you report to the Port Authority. You check in at security with your HMC 12. You go to the Customs Department. You pay your duty. From there, you go over to Port Authority and you pay your wharfage. After that's completed, you either go outside for your vehicle, or if you have a trucker, you give them your paperwork. and they report to the respective warehouse. The officer there assists you, finds your cargo, gives you your gate pass once everything is checked out, and from there you report to security upon your exit, and security now verifies the cargo that's in the vehicle or on the truck against what's on the gate pass, and if everything is good, then you're good to go.
Okay, is there any other process you would like to tell us?
No, that's all.
Okay, thank you. I also understand that the BVI Ports Authority is now doing things and is going to do things in 2015. Can you shed some light on that?
In 2015, the BVI Ports Authority will be celebrating its silver anniversary. And as such, we plan to have a number of events and initiatives that we will be letting the public know about a little bit later. In addition to the silver anniversary celebrations, we will also be holding 2 significant conferences, hosting actually. One being the Caribbean Shipping Association Conference, and following that will be the Association of Sports and Cultural Clubs, the Port Games. So we're doing it a little big in 2015, and oh, might I forget, we're also going to be opening our new cruise pier and landside development, and that's also going to be a big celebration for us.
So are there any more details that you could give me now?
The most notable event that we will take part in 2015 as part of our celebrations will be the August Monday Parade. Our entry is going to be big, it's going to be beautiful, and you can expect something that you've never seen before.
Wow, okay. So that's something definitely for us to look forward to.
Definitely.
Okay. Thank you for joining me on today's GIS program. For more information about any of the initiatives discussed during today's program, please email bviports@bviports.org. The date to keep in mind is July 1st, when the BVI Ports Authority will start collecting the $5 security fee, and the authority will begin collecting cargo charges on that same date. Also, be sure to look out for the authority's silver anniversary celebrations in 2015. I am your host, Laura Lee Dawson, reporting for the Ministry of Communications and Works.